Hello, hello. Welcome for another episode of the Author Spotlight. Hey, it's your main man, Darren M. Palmer. Excited to be with you for another episode where I get the honor and the privilege to be able to go behind the scenes with best-selling authors from across the globe. Today we have on our two special guests. We got Christina and Mark Ritorto, who are on today to share about how this duo, this team of daughter and father, have come together to create three publications, three books. And Christina even did it at the right old age. I'm gonna say old age there of 10 years old. No pun intended, just joking with her. But I brought this team on because it lets you know no matter where you are, you can get it done. And it can be a family affair. So, Mark and Christina, thank you so much for coming on to the show. And if there's anything that you want to share with our audience in your bio or anything that you want them to know that I didn't share, please state it at this time.
Okay. Yeah, we're both from New Jersey. Christina started publishing her first book at the age of 10. It's called I Am Survivor. And then after that, she published her second book, which is called Invisible Girl. And she just finished her third book, which we still got to publish it. We're trying to get the book cover ready, which is called A Little Bit Louder, I believe. And then my book is called The Cabal, The Saga Begins. And that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's get down into it. And thank you, Mark, for giving us more information about the bios. But let's get into it. How did this come about? Did Christina was she just writing some stuff down, or is just a family project y'all came upon? How did Christina get involved in creating content so early and going forward with getting it published?
I
like to write, so like at home I would just write stories. I didn't actually think I would be able to publish them. But then I found out about how Amazon lets you self-publish, and my dad helped me publish it, and that's what happened.
Yep. And then after she published her first book, I kind of remembered that I started a book about 10 years before she was even born, and I just got so busy, with the kids and everything in life, that I'm like, you know what, let me just start that book up again. And I just finished it, and I published it last year. So I was kind of proud of it. I was able to get my own first book out there. And then, so pretty much, I'm working on my second book. She's getting ready to publish her third. And, I'm more involved in the marketing aspect of it, trying to, the social media aspect, trying to find people to give us podcast reviews like yourself. So it's not just writing the book and then publishing it. There's a lot more to it that people don't realize.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, Mark. And thank you so much, Christina, for sharing with us, what was the inspiration on how you got started. But for some of the things that I want our audience to glean from what was just shared is the importance of just starting where you are. Starting where you are is the first tip. Christina just started where she was, and then all of a sudden some things popped up. Like she brought up the thing about Amazon, realizing, doing some of the research, and it didn't just drop in their lap. It wasn't like it was just a publishing guy was there and just extracted the book out of her brain and poof, and it shot up and it was a book. I mean, just doing the research. For those of you who are out there, guess what? Mark has a busy life as well. Christina has a busy life as well. But if it's something worth doing, you'll be shocked how the opportunities that come your way when you're diligent and doing what you're supposed to do. Christina was still creating the content before the Amazon stuff came along. So when Amazon stuff showed up, she was able to take advantage. Preparation precedes blessings, so to speak, or allows for you to take advantage of that opportunity. And so being prepared and already creating content, now when a medium or a vehicle came along that could allow for her to expedite the process and get it out, she did it. And by the way, for those who are listening in, my daughter has written some books as well. The rest of the kids are coming out with one now as well. But it just shows you how, even with you, if you're younger, don't allow for your age to get in the way. Or some of us have been brainwashed, even especially adults. Pay attention to this, adults. A lot of us have been programmed to believe that the only type of books are autobiographies and things like that the only way you can write a book is if you're on your deathbed and you know, you did everything you can do in life. Now it's time to write a book. And that's far-fetched. That's totally false. That's a bogus claim, and you need to get rid of that type of thinking. Here's a young lady at the ripe old age of 10 who was able to create a story, and now I'm saying books, plural, you know, and she hasn't even graduated from high school or anything like that. So
Yeah.
you're looking at what's going on, and I want to go back to Mark as well. Mark, he could have just came up with excuses, you know, how some of us parents are, or, you know, adults are. Well, you know, I was going to write my book, but, you know, I wanted to take a back seat and, you know, and just really focus on marketing my daughter. No, he's doing that, and he got his tail up or got his rear up, and he got back onto what he needed to do. He had something that reminded him, hey, you know what? I got a book that I need to finish on up. And now he's knocked that out, and now he's moving on. So don't use the kids, or don't use, well, when they graduate, or when I get them out of college, or when I get the promotion, or when I make the move, or whenever the marriage or divorce, whatever we come up as excuses in life, we got to move past that and get stuff done. Mark, do you agree with that, of the importance of pressing forward regardless of the situation and the environment you're in?
Exactly. Yeah. I think everybody's got at least one story to tell, you know. If you got the great, you know, some idea that you have in your head, you just got to put it down. Well, nowadays it's not pen and paper, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Pen and paper and get it out there, you know.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Now, Christina, I want you to come up closer to your dad real quick, if you don't mind, because I want to make sure our audience hear everything that this young author has to say. But share with us what's going on in the second book. What will the second book be about?
Like my second book that I published.
No, you mean the sequel to our new book, right?
Yes.
The one that's almost done. A little bit louder, that one.
Okay. So basically, I took the opportunity of making the second book to like know a little bit more about like the characters, because I feel like in the first book it was a little bit mainly only about the main character, but also I used the opportunity to like plan things out more, and I try not to rush. And basically it was just like another, you know, story that I purposely made to have like a good theme, because like in the book there's like some problems that I think, like, because for my age group I think a lot of people can relate, you know, with like gossiping, rumors, and like not really being nice to other people. And yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Christina. And you heard what Christina was sharing, was she found the opportunities, and listen, Christina found opportunities to improve herself from lessons that she's already learned from doing the first book. And so I think that's something that we want to take away as well for those who are listening and you're writing your own book. It's like, hey, you know, pick up on, it might not be you finished the whole book, but you can learn from what you did from the previous chapter. Or if you've got a set of edits back and someone has gave you constructive criticism, how you can pick up on that and improve your writing. It doesn't have to be the total book finish for you to be able to learn, or by listening to episodes like this where you got Mark and Christina here who's sharing with you some of the things that they've done, and you don't have to fall into the same pothole or whatnot. You don't have to fall into the same trap, and you can get better with that. And I love the part that Christina shared with us of how she learned how to, you know, have a better pace, that she doesn't have to rush. You know, that shows that she's getting to her groove. That shows the maturation process of how you just, hey, let me just focus on this. Let me make sure I execute, and then I can move on. It's not the end of the world if I don't have it done in 10 days. Let me just make sure that the content I'm creating is lining up with my thoughts, and then I can move forward and make any necessary adjustments from there. And Mark, you know, what have you learned on the second one that you're working on compared to the first one?
Well, similar to Christina, not to rush. Take your time, develop the content a little bit more. And what I'm trying to focus more on now is developing the characters more. So there's more depth to them. And I'm just taking it from there. And what I usually try to do is I try to take from my life experiences, like if something's going on in my particular life, and turn it into a story. It may not be mirror image because my books are not, I'm not, superhero or anything like that. I'm just an average dad, but I try to take what's going on in my life and try to turn it into a story. But, a little bit more fantasy or fictional, but it's still a story. But to me, I know what the story's about. When a reader reads it, they're reading it this way, but I know there should be meaning behind it. So
awesome. And I just want to start off with you, Mark, and then we'll go to Christina. Could y'all share with the audience give us some of the feedback that you've received with putting the book out, and also what has it meant to you knowing that both of you've gotten it done? I know it's quite a bit of books that have been published now, even self-published, but still, it is a cohort of people in this world who haven't and will never do a book. It's still billions who would never, ever do a book. So even though we might be in circles and groups where we are aware of people who do books or who have books now, it's still a great number of people from the past, the present, and the future who will never do it. So share with us what publishing a book meant to you, knowing that you actually accomplished that goal and got it done. And also what has been the response of whether it's siblings or spouses or people at school or on the job, knowing that you are a published author. And we'll start with you, Mark, and then we'll ask Christina to step up closer and share her input.
Okay. For me, I found it to be a very positive experience because I'm kind of like a goal-oriented person. So I like the fact that I kind of set the goal and I accomplished the goal to write the book. Now I got more goals to write more books. We even took it a step further and we actually turned our books into audio books. But what I actually also liked about the experience is that I got a lot of positive feedback from the people who bought my book on Amazon. I got 4 or 5 star reviews, and I just like the fact that people actually like the book, so it kind of makes me feel good. It's always good to get positive feedback. I know sometimes, eventually maybe I may get a negative review, but you can always use that as a positive feedback to improve yourself on your next book that you write.
That's great. There's nothing wrong with positive feedback. Now, Miss Christina, come on closer. We want to make sure we hear you and just share what has been the response. What did it mean to you knowing that you accomplished your goal of being an author? And also share what has been some feedback, whether it's from your dad or people at school or teachers, knowing that you are a published author.
So I always loved to write. I don't think that was really a secret. And in school, sometimes my teachers would just read if we did a writing project, they would read what I wrote, and my classmates would be like, "Wow, Christina, you're gonna be an author one day." I'm like, "Yeah, right." And then when I published my book, I was like, "Wow, I actually am an author," and I don't think anyone really expected that to actually happen. So when it happened, I was like, I published a book, and then they were people they stared at me really, but then I showed them and they were just really surprised. But the same thing with my dad. I haven't gotten any negative reviews yet, but I got a lot of good reviews with my books, and a lot of people have been supportive. My dad, teachers, classmates, family, everyone's been supporting me. So.
Cool. Well, I just want to thank you all so much for coming on to the show today. This has been an extraordinary episode, and especially we have something called the Future Authors Program that's sponsoring this episode, where we're encouraging young authors. So just like Christina, we want to let those who are out there who love to write, or you might didn't know that you like to write, but you have something that's important that's on your heart. And I love what Mark brought up earlier was taking advantage of your life. Why forfeit the opportunity of lessons or things that you see? You don't have to have it just about you, but you can take that and create that into a story or include that in a situation with a character that you're writing about or whatnot. But don't just throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak, and just devalue your life or the opportunities or things that you see that are learning lessons that could be beneficial to other people. It's all about perspective, and that will end up being your reality. And so if you don't mind, Mark and Christina, please share with the audience how they can purchase the book, especially Mark with the marketing and social media piece, any handles, anything like that, or people want to get you on their podcast. We have several people who are subscribed and listen to this that have their own shows or looking for people to come on. So please share with them how they can get and connect with you too.
Okay, the easiest way, I mean, obviously our books are available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com, but the easiest way, because we have all the links to all the various sites, is going to our family website, which is called www.ritortofamilybooks.com, and it's RITORTO, and again, it's www.ritortofamilybooks.com. We have the links from our books to the Amazon sites, to the Barnes & Noble sites, to Audible to get our audio books. And just so everybody knows, we only sell the hardcover books on our website. Okay. Not available anywhere else. And you'll see the links to our Facebook page, which is Ritorto Family Books, and our Instagram account is right on there, and even our YouTube channel.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I just want to thank the Ritorto family for coming on today. To encourage and uplift us and empower us to let us know that we have no excuses at all, because this father and daughter tag team here has definitely encouraged me to go forward with doing more projects myself. And I hope that it was something that was shared here that you could take and implement in your life immediately. So some of the things we picked up again was the importance of environment, not making excuses. It doesn't matter if you have that manuscript laying over there with dust on it, in your living room, or, or it's packed away somewhere. Just like Mark, he picked it back up. He finished it up. He didn't come up with, oh, there's no sense of me doing it now. Oh, well, this was so many years ago. There's no sense of me. I need to give up on life. No, he did it. And also for those young people out there, Christina is just, I like to say she's the shero, because she's showing you that she can do it. It was known that she loved to write. But she didn't allow for that to stop her love for writing, and she continued to move forward. So the young people who are listening, don't dumb down who you are intellectually or who you are called to be. You are unique. You're marvelous. You're marvelous individuals. But don't allow for bullies or systems or people to discourage you from going forward with what's in your heart. And that's what I love about Christina, is that she continues to write. She continues to believe. She continues to dream, and she's continuing to go and set the bar higher. And she's helping adults as well. So for the young people who are listening, you don't have to be 40 or 60 or 30 or 25 years old to make an impact. Christina is making an impact right now. And so I want to encourage all the young people and those who are a little bit more seasoned like us, that you can make an impact wherever you are. It doesn't matter about where you are geographical location. It doesn't matter what family you came from, or if you feel like you're royalty or noble or not. You can make a difference wherever you are by sharing your story and moving forward with your goals. So thank you to the Ritorto family. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Mark, again for coming on to the Author Spotlight. It's been an honor and privilege to have you. And I will make sure all the information that you share with us, Mark, that it will be in our show notes so our audience can connect with you. But thank you once again.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here.
Awesome. Awesome. Until next time, for those who are listening in, remember that if you want change, be the change. Until next time, remember, this is the year for your new book.